Okay, now this video is going to be about Desmos.com. So just Desmos.com and start graphing. And then I've already logged in, you can see. You can do the same. I could name the graph, whatever. Okay. And you can see if I go here, all the different kind of silly things that have been going on. Different kind of graphs and stuff and mad designs and all kind of weird and wonderful stuff. And this video is just going to show you from scratch, but I just want you to see all the different sort of things. I've got Ferris wheels and all sorts of stuff in here somewhere. So like 223 more. Yep. Okay. So I've got images that jump around. I've got skiing people, skiing mountain. Oh, sorry. Skiing mountain. Where was the skiing mountain? That one's quite good. What's good about it? You can teach students how to do this at primary school, but they're actually using calculus. So that could be something that I would show you how to do, which could be fun. I will also show you the Ferris wheel one if I can find it, because that's kind of cool as well. So I need to keep going down, down, down. There's possibly a search thing where I might be able to go wheel. There we go. That was a lot quicker, wasn't it? And open the graphs. So that one's got a whole heap of graphs. Now, of course, you could do something similar in Desmos geometry. But we're just going to start a fresh graph. So we're going to go here and new blank graph. Okay. So how do we use Desmos? Here we've got settings where we can put projector mode, we can reverse the contrast. Students seem to find that particularly quickly. We can do a circular grid, which is kind of fun. I mean, I do believe in playing at primary school, so who knows, some kids might enjoy that. And here we can call this something, the x-axis. Oh, there we go. And we can call the y-axis the y-axis. Or anything else that we feel like. But quite helpful, right? And then with the step can change. So at the moment it's a step of 1. If we change it to a step of 2, you can see it's different again. You can have minor grid lines and major grid lines. Okay. So here I'm going to have a step of 1 and I'm going to have a step of, oops, not 11. And down here I'll have a step of 1 and I'll only have major grid lines. Right? Okay. So what do? We graph stuff. So I could say y equals x, and that's going to give me that line. I could change it to x squared. See down here, you've got the little squared. You get a different graph, right? If I change that to 6, slightly different. 9, different again. 7 or 3, all sorts of different graphs. In fact, you could put a slider there, and you could push play, and it's going to give you a very weird result. Very, very strange. So there's a whole lot of different graphs that you can do. Now if you were going to think about the whole gradient thing, instead of going y equals, for example, x, well, let's even go sine x, right? So that's quite a cool graph for students to look at, because they see that in lots of video games and things. But instead of going y, we actually go f of x. It's just a different syntax. It's saying y is a function of x. And that way we can go m equals f dash. And that's actually differentiating, which means it's giving us the slope. Oh, now I think I might just go A there. That will be better. So now, what is A? We better find what A is. A comma A. Right, there we go. There's point A on A comma A. We've got a slider. I didn't really need my pointer. I just didn't know why here, when I put A, it didn't seem to work. But now, if I push play. So the point I actually want is A comma and then put A into that equation. So now we have got this going backwards and forwards on that line. That's the gradient. I could actually give it its point value, but I don't want to. This is driving me a bit crazy, so I'm going to make it go a bit slower. There we go. A little bit slower. Quite slow. Now, this equation you won't know, and that's okay. So I'm going to go y minus f of A equals m x minus A. Now that's just a little magic formula that they use in about year 11. And so what I've managed to do there is this point is going along that graph, and that blue line is the slope at that point. So if students got an image, that image could fly along that line, connecting it with the slope, which is pretty cool. How would they get an image? Okay, so there's a plus, and there's a plus image. Now, we need to find an image that's worth using. So let's find one. Let's go in here, and let's look for a boat with a white background, or no background. Let's have a look at that, and oh yeah, how about that one? I'm going to go for that one, and I'm just going to right click, save image as, and I want to put this on my desktop for now. So I just need to find my desktop there and save. And then I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm actually going to do it in Paint. I'm going to open it up in Paint. File, open. Then I'm going to go to my desktop where I put it. And then I'm going to open that up. Now I want to zoom out. And I want to select, I'm going to select that boat like that, and I'm going to make it go up, 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 up to there. And I really want the middle to be about there, so that's okay. I could select all. I don't maybe want quite so much white, so I could send it that way. And if I go like so, right, and I'm thinking the center of that image is about there. I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to leave it as the desktop, and I'm just going to call it Boat. And find it. So then I'm going to go back to what I was doing, out of there, and I'm going to add the image. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to go to the boat, and there it is. Now the center is going to be that point. So that point was A, and then it was F of A. So it was just better syntax than a Y, because it made it quite easy. Now my issue is the angle. So here I'm going to go 10 to the power of -1. So inverse tan. I wonder, I might be able to find it there. It's quicker, inverse tan. Okay, and then I need that M. That was the gradient. Now, that boat's too big, so I'm going to halve it in size. I'm going to make that 5, and then I'm going to have to halve this, which would be 4.45 maybe. Yeah, that looks alright. Now I can put that keyboard away. Right. Now the issue I've got with the wave is that I want the wave to be a bit more shallow. So, okay. And I could make it like that as well. Maybe have more waves go like that. Now, you don't need to know that. All you need to know is that if you go y equals a sine bx plus c, and we won't use a because we've already got a, so I'll just change that to a different letter, d, and add those sliders. You can see that curve. You can actually change the curve to one that you want by just moving these sliders. So there's one makes it taller, one gives you more or less waves, and one's moving it up and down. So we'll just get rid of that because we don't want to do it, but that's a bit of a trick. Okay. Settings. We actually didn't want our grid at all. And we don't actually want the X and Y axes. That was just to do with demo. And if I go back to my graph here, if I go settings, I probably want that to be blue like the sea. And even more interesting, we really want to have that coloured in. So I'm going to go here. Y is less than f of x, and I've coloured it in. Isn't that cool? I think it's quite cool. Now, is that boat still a bit big for those waves? Possibly it is. So I could change its width to 4, and then to 4, okay, or even 3. And maybe its height should be less as well. Okay, we don't want to be looking at that label. And if we click over here, there we go. So that's more than an introduction, really, isn't it, to Desmos? It's showing you quite high-end stuff, and we really don't need that particular line. And that point we actually don't need to display. So here we have a boat along here. We could just make it go in one direction, and we could make it go faster. Now, of course, that might seem highly technical. And what have the students learned? What's the point? Well, we've played with graphs. We've played with function notation. We've talked about slope. We've actually got an inverse angle. So there's a lot of high-end calculus and maths in there. And is it harmful for students to play with this high-end without fully understanding it and without being able to do it? I argue that when they come to learn it, they're more likely to see the point and more likely to connect to real life. What's the point of this? And more likely to stay interested in maths. To me, there's no other way of doing that, of getting that boat going on that wave. You need calculus. You need the differentiation to get the gradient, to tell the image what angle it's got to be at. So to me, it seems helpful, not harmful. Now, what else can we do with this A? So what else can we do with this bit of software? If we push plus, nothing useful there. There's polygon, but you've got to know about it, right? You've got to remember. Or if we go here and we look at functions, is it there? We've got trig functions, we've got stats functions, we've got lots of distribution